My favorite Bible character is probably the talking donkey that talks to Balaam, because it's a great example of how God can use anything, even a donkey, to accomplish his will. I really hang on to that.
My favorite Bible character used to be Esther because queen, but it's not anymore. My favorite Bible character now is probably Joseph because he faces all these insanely difficult things. He's done nothing wrong. And just over and over again, difficulty comes his way, but at the end of the story, you see that God was preparing something insane for him to do, to save like thousands of people's lives.
I think my favorite Bible character would be Peter, because he did a lot of silly things, I think kind of like what we do in life, and then he's the man that walked with Jesus and yet denied that he ever even knew him. And yet still he built, Jesus said, hey, you're gonna build my church. I've found him to be a fascinating character and one who gives me a lot of hope in my life.
I just love reading. I love reading his text is the psalmist David, because I feel like we get to read about him, we get to read, you know, kind of his journals, and then we get to read the stories surrounding those journals. So this is where he would have been at the time he was writing this, which then only magnifies those moments even more.
Hannah. I love Hannah because Hannah was distraught and she had no words when she was praying to God, but she still poured out her heart to the Lord. After God gave her what it was that she desired, she actually kept her word and gave back to him the very thing she prayed for, and that was a son.
Someone that I've been really kind of drawn to recently is the character Gideon. Something I find kind of amazing about Gideon is, you know, he's a person hiding in a wine press. But then God comes and calls him a mighty warrior. If God calls you to something and it feels too big and too scary for you, he's the one that does it. He's the one that simply, when he says it, it is truth.
I would say my favorite Bible character is Paul, because Paul, I mean, he has this dramatic conversion, okay? He's not a believer. In fact, he doesn't like Christians at all. He goes on to write most of the Bible for us to leave us this history so we can understand who God is. And he never gets to a point where he's just got it all figured out. I mean, in fact, he's got a lot of humility. He's like, I'm a believer and I'm understanding, I'm teaching you, but at the same time, I still do things I don't want to do and I'm not doing what I want to be doing. I mean, he says that in one of his letters, like, I just don't do what I want to do. It just reminds me that, you know, I'm never going to be perfect. And he is at that place too, where he's like, I'm not perfect. I'm just giving you the message of grace.
Now it's time to dive in for yourself and sign up for the Bible Kickstart reading plan. It's gonna walk you through foundational and easy to understand passages in 10 minutes or less each day. It's gonna help you understand the Bible better and feel inspired to make the Bible a part of your everyday life. Go to BibleKickstart.com to sign up or use the link in the description.